Welcome to Life and Fatherhood, the podcast where new dads like you find community, insight, and practical tips to navigate the incredible journey of fatherhood. I'm your host, Alonso Williams Jr., and I'm here to bring you valuable conversations with fellow dads who share their wisdom and experience. Whether you're looking for advice, inspiration, or just a place to connect with other fathers, you are in the right place. Ready to dive in? Let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Life and Fatherhood. I am your host, Alonso Williams Jr. And today's topic is something that can truly transform your relationship after welcoming a baby. And that's partner check-ins. Partner check-ins. Hey, come on, let's face it. Becoming a parent changes everything. Sometimes our relationships can take a back seat, but with intentionality, we can strengthen our connections and support one another better. So, I love to go ahead and always have vulnerable moments and give you my own personal stories. Um, you know, my wife is a dedicated mompreneur. I don't know why that's so hard to say. Working hard at home while taking care of our boys full time. Yeah, she is very much a superwoman. She does so much, and I've always admired her strength, always admired her dedication, her focus, her drive. But for a long time, she never really asked me for help, especially in the beginning. My wife, she's a very, very strong individual. She's a very resourceful individual. And so, um, you know, I noticed her getting overwhelmed, but I wasn't sure how to really step in without her explicitly saying what she needed. That's when I started initiating regular check-ins, asking her like, "Hey, how can I support you today?" Um, every day I ask, "Hey, what do you need? Well, what is it that I can support you in?" It sounds simple, but it opened up a whole new level of communication between us, right? Um, like these check-ins became a safe space for her to share her needs without, resorting to any silent treatment or indirect hints, which can, be so frustrating for the both of us. Last thing we want to do is feel like we're isolating each other, right? Because that's not the truth. That's not what it is. But that's a part of the parenting journey. It's going to test us. It's going to, like, just how it tests us different ways. It's going to test you and your wife, you and your partner in different ways, right? Um, But by being genuinely curious about how I could support her, I showed her that I cared about her feelings and was there for her. This led to us establishing, weekly meetings where we could discover everything from household responsibilities to emotional check-ins. And, it's been a game changer for us, right? It's been a game changer. Now, I'll never forget the relief on her face when she realized she could express her needs openly. Um, that was that was powerful. That's the best word I can describe it. That was a very powerful thing, really, for both of us. You know, especially because in a lot of ways it was like we broke a barrier that we didn't even know was there. That she could trust me on that level, and that I could trust her on that level. It took a whole nother step forward for both of us, and it made both of us better. Not just as individuals, but it made our marriage better. It made our parenting better. Um, it just made the overall atmosphere in our home better. And I'm grateful for it, Um, and of course, it's not just about the logistics, it's about feelings, the support, and, feeling seen in our partnership together. As a husband, my goal is to lighten her load. And by listening to her, I could take some of that weight off her shoulders. For instance, she mentioned how draining folding laundry was for her, after doing the wash. So I made it a point to fold the clothes. After she washed them, I, go ahead and just fold them. Seems small, but it means a lot to her. And it's a way for me to show my love and support. I mean, live under the same roof, you know, got the same jumping bean kids, they have all the energy in the world. Hey, we got to do it together. Ain't no choice. Right. So if you're looking to strengthen your relationship after having a baby, I challenge you to implement these 3 tips today. All right, y'all know my 3 favorite tips. I love to give y'all 3 tips, something to get you started. Right. So start regular check-ins. Just ask your partner, like, how can I support you today? Something as simple as that. This simple question can lead to deeper conversations and a better understanding of each other's needs. Be proactive. All right. If you listen, y'all, the ability to anticipate what your wife or your partner may need, it goes a long way. Right. That's an area that I've gotten better at, and of course, still growing in it. But it listen, do it. Be proactive. Once you learn what they need, take action. Find little ways to ease their burden, whether it's household chores, um, like child care, such as, like, for example, like I give, well, not now because of my work schedule, but on weekends, I'll give the boys a bath. I used to give them the bath every evening. Of course, things change, but that's still something that she appreciates. And once again, your kids appreciate it because you're spending time with them, right? So everyone is, benefiting by you being proactive in the home. It's special. And of course, number 3, establish weekly meetings. Use this time to connect on a deeper level, discuss responsibilities, and check in emotionally. It's a great way to stay aligned as, your partner, your wife, and to keep communication open. You always want to have these designated times to sit down and have these conversations, because if you don't, you won't. Just be honest with you. You just won't. It's not that you don't. It's not that you don't have the desire to. It's just life. Life pulls us in so many individually different ways that if we don't be intentional about setting aside those times to connect with our loved ones, we just won't. Then we'll look back like, man, what happened? Where'd it go wrong? And oftentimes the biggest, the biggest collapses begin with the smallest decisions. And that's not for you. That's not for us. That's not for you. That's not for anybody. We're different. Now, I want you to give these tips a try and let me know how it goes. You can reach out to me on social media or through the comment section. Let's keep the conversation going and support each other as we navigate fatherhood together. Thanks for tuning in to Life in Fatherhood. Until next time, keep showing up for each other. Take care. Thank you for tuning in to Life in Fatherhood. I hope today's episode gave you some valuable insight and new ideas for your own fatherhood journey. For more tips, blogs, and downloadable resources to support your wellness and leadership at home, visit lifeinfatherhood.com. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review if you enjoy the show. Until next time, keep leading and embracing every moment of fatherhood.